So all of my flights for 2024 are free, and I owe that to travel credit cards. And I'm going to give you a peek into my strategy so that you can put your debit card away because you're not earning nothing with that thing, and learn how to earn free travel with the everyday purchases that you're likely already making. So before we get into it, hey girl, hey, my name is Jocelyn and I am the founder of Maximize Money, and I teach Black women like you how to save more and spend wisely with your 9-to-5 income so that you can do more of what you love without going deeper into debt for it. Because again, I hate to see the girls putting all this effort and pressure on themselves to keep up with the Joneses when they really can avoid this lifestyle. So for me, I'm all about travel, and I'm all about finding ways to travel more for less money, and that is why I love travel credit cards. So I'm going to talk about the number one way I'm able to travel more for less money, and that is with travel credit cards. So if you think of travel credit cards, they are likely just like any other credit card that you've heard of, except they reward you and they reward your spending with points and miles. And those points and miles can actually be redeemed for free travel, free flights. As I mentioned, all my flights are free for the year of 2024. Sometimes free hotels, depending on how many points and miles that you've earned. And if you are like, okay, girl, what are points and miles? Don't worry about it because I'm about to get into it right now. So points and miles are basically like money-related rewards that you earn with every purchase. And so there is a monetary value associated with them, but it's not like dollar for dollar. So when you spend $10, they're not going to give you $10. Instead, they'll give you 10 points, and depending on what kind of cards you use and the kind of spending categories that each card has, you can actually earn more. You can earn 2 times the points. So if a purchase is $10 and they offer 2 times the points on it, then you actually are getting 20 points instead of 10 points, for example. And so certain cards, like I mentioned, offer like double points or even triple times the points or even 10 times the points. And those are the ones that you want to really pay attention to, because that is what's going to allow you to get a larger amount of points in less time and to be able to redeem it, for the travel related expenses that you have. So for one of my cards, I earn 3 times the points for a certain category. And that means that if I spend $30, then I'm earning 90 points because it's 3 times the points. And as you can see, if I'm doing that every day, like let's say it's groceries or gas, for example, I'm spending $30 every month on this thing, it's going to quickly accumulate within a month to 30, 60, 90, 120. And then 120 times 3 is 120 times 3 is 240, 340, 360 points. And so that's just for one dedicated thing that I already have to do anyway. I also have to pay bills. I also have to buy groceries. I also have to just go to dinner from time to time, and if I'm doing these things, these are already everyday expenses that I'm accruing, then I'm already going to have to set aside money to spend these things. But instead of me using my regular debit card that gives me nothing in return, I'm already going to have the money to pay for these things because I set it aside in my high yield savings account. That is part 1 of the Luxury Travel on a Budget series. That is linked in the description. Please check that out as well. But I already have that money set aside to pay for these bills. So now all I have to do is charge them with my travel credit card, which is going to offer me points, sometimes 2 times the points, sometimes 3 times the points, sometimes 5 times the points. And then I pay off that credit card in full every month, and I earn the points, and I leave those points in my little travel bank until I have enough to actually utilize them and purchase a flight or purchase a hotel stay, for example. So I gave you the example of, the $30 equaling 90 points, but let's say your purchase is $50 and you're earning 3 times the points. That means you earn 150 points. So $50 times 3 is 150 points. So once you get to around like 10,000 points, you actually have some wiggle room to start playing around with the points. So for me, you could probably get a one-way flight for the 10,000 points because 10,000 points is roughly around like $100. And then if you find a flight on Spirit, I went to Miami for $48 round trip. You can travel with 10,000 points, and it may not be a round trip every time, but if that covers one of your flights, like one way, you only have to pay for the other, you're already saving more money. So I talk about this and I give even more examples, and I tell you about the travel credit cards that I use in my Luxury Living on a 9-to-5 Budget Money Masterclass. And so I show you how to go from unconscious spending to actually and confidently being able to afford the trips and the experiences that you deserve and desire. And like I said, do not let social media fool you. A lot of these folks are going deeper into debt just to show off for y'all. And like, for what? Like, why are you carrying these heavy, super big balances? Like, that's not cute. That's not a flex. Like, a real flex is being able to actually afford the things and the trips and the experiences that you deserve. And I want to show you how to do that with your 9-to-5 income. And so the link to purchase is in the description, and I walk you through like different strategies that I've used. I share the cards that I use. I highlight the different spending categories and how I use them so that you actually have direction on like, okay, this makes sense for me, this doesn't make sense for me, and you can choose the right travel credit card for you based on your lifestyle and the things that you already are spending money on. So that's that. And again, just to give you another example and put something on the screen that relates to it, I had booked a round trip flight to Chicago earlier, and it would have been $128 round trip. I got a whole video on how to find these super cheap deals, but that's part 3 or part 4. One of the parts. So just go ahead and subscribe, like, and comment, girl, and you're going to come right back to it. So, it was $128, but I had some points. I had like 40,000 points, and I was like, instead of me just spending that money, I could just redeem some of my points. And so the points that I needed to book that round trip flight was 12,848 points, and so I already had that in my bank. So as you can see on the screenshot, which I put on the screen, I didn't spend any money. I literally just used those 12,000 points that I had in my travel bank, and it was that simple. I booked it within my little portal, and boom, we was out to Chicago, baby. So that is what I teach you in my luxury living on a 9-to-5 budget masterclass. And again, this is with a 9-to-5 income, baby. I don't have hella jobs outside of Maximize Money, and this is my purpose. This is my brand, my baby. Like, all of this is coming primarily from my job because my business money is going elsewhere. Okay, so that's just to show you what's possible. And while I was there in Chicago, I used Lyft primarily to get around. And you might be like, why? Why did you use Lyft and not Uber? Because one of the travel credit cards that I use offers 5 times the points on every Lyft trip you take. So if I am lifting every day for $25, multiple times a day for $25, and I earn 5 times the points, that means that I'm earning $125. 125 points off that $25 trip. So $25 times 5, because it's 5 times the points, is $125. 125 points. So that's just to show you how quickly this thing can add up, because you likely Ubering and lifting while you're traveling anyway, so you might as well get some bang for your buck for it. You feel me? So that's, again, many other things that I talk about in the masterclass. It is linked in the description to purchase. Please get it before the price goes up. And so for me, one last caveat that I want to highlight is that I do not spend money and I do not charge things on my card that aren't necessities. Outside of paying bills, outside of travel-related expenses, outside of groceries, gas, all these things, like, I don't spend on stuff that I don't need or that I haven't set aside money from a wanting perspective. Like, I spend realistically according to my lifestyle, because what I see a lot of people do is they're like, oh, well, I earn 10 times the points in this, and that's not even something that they need. They just do it to try to get to the 10 times the points, and I don't believe in that. I actually show you in my masterclass how to choose the right card for you based on your lifestyle, because again, I don't want you getting an American Express card just to be able to max it out on stuff that doesn't matter. Like, it needs to make sense for you, and the spending categories that are associated with the card or the cards that you use need to make sense for you. So again, link in the description, baby. Get the luxury living on a 9-to-5 budget, because it's all about strategy. Once you understand your strategy, it starts to work for you. Okay, so that is it. So if you are not committed to wise decisions, if you aren't committed to actually making better decisions with your money so that you can do these things, go ahead and don't get the masterclass. But if you like, you know what, Joss, I'm trying to be like you. I want free travel all 2024 too. I want to be able to go to Chicago for half the price too. I want to be able to earn points on the stuff that I'm already spending money on so that I can travel more for less money. Then the masterclass is for you, because those are for my girls, the girls who are about the experiences and the travel and the luxury travel and being able to do it for half the cost and sometimes no cost. So if you are new to travel credit cards, comment below and let me know if you have any questions. And if you already have a travel credit card, let me know which one you have. Comment below and let's keep the conversation going. So thank you so much for watching. Again, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys on the next video. This is part 2. Part 1 is below, and then part 3 will be released next week. So I'll see you then.